Yo, what's up, my mullet Sharp here, and I'm bringing you guys another class setup video. Now, I did put a class setup video up in the very beginning of the game, and it had like Type 95 and all this stuff that probably isn't allowed now. Actually, I know it's not allowed now. So, and I did make a class setup video, but I never really uploaded it with kind of more an updated thing. So, I thought I would bring you guys a final class setup for MW3. Maybe for those of you guys that are trying to finish out the game with the team going into Black Ops, you can use these. Or maybe, you know, if you come back during Black Ops 2. And you want to know what to use in the class, you can use this video. So I'm going to first start out here going down my options, because I usually put this in the end of the video and a lot of people still ask questions in the comments. So I'm just going to go through what I do. Stick layout default, button layout tactical, look inversion disabled, vibration disabled, sensitivity on 2. Now a lot of you guys are going to ask, why don't you go up to a higher sensitivity? I like a low sensitivity because it helps me better with the longer range shots. And really in this game, when you're playing on the pro level, you're not going to turn on a lot of people. A lot of people are not going to miss that many shots, you know, pros versus pros. Maybe if you're playing against a worse, or, you know, like a really bad team, then you can turn on them. But 2 just works fine for me. Really, it's what you want to do. It's what you're comfortable with. Don't listen to any YouTubers that tell you that, oh, you have to play on a high sensitivity to be good, because that is not true. Don't listen to that. Horizontal and vertical margin, that is all based on you. Game volume, that's based on what you want. Brightness, that's based on what you want. Colorblind assist disabled. I'm not colorblind, but this actually did help out in the beginning of the game with the whole stealth bomber thing, but they got rid of that. Theater mode enabled as always. So let's get to what this video is about, the classes, what I use when I'm going into MLG. So we'll just go straight into the create a class. Now my first class, this is if I'm going to be playing more of a Slayer role, or if it's search and destroy and I don't feel like running impact. It's going to be my ACR with a red dot and focus on. Now I use focus because when you get shot, I don't want my shot bouncing up everywhere. Now I know a lot of you guys like to use impact on search and destroy so you can shoot through walls. But sometimes I just like, you know, when you get in those head-on gunfights with someone and, you know, you're eating bullets and your shot's just gonna be bouncing up. Sometimes I get raped from like really far away if someone has an MP7 and they're shooting at me and I don't have focus on, because my shot's like my red dot's bouncing up everywhere. So that's all I usually like to run focus, even in search and destroy. Now I always run extreme conditioning, never use sleight of hand. I'm not that big of a kill horror, even if I'm slaying. You know, I want to be able to still grab flags when I need to, and when I do, be able to run. And especially it helps off the break on CTF, and it helps off the break on search and destroy if I'm running ACR to have extreme conditioning, just because you can run up faster. Now secondaries, machine pistols are allowed, and they have been allowed on GB. Most of the pro players tend to stay away from those, just because, you know, they're kind of, machine pistols are cheap. So I like to run the MP412, or I like to hit up the Clint Eastwood, the 44 Magnum. Either of those are pretty good. I think all the other pistols are Cheeks McGee, and then run the tactical knife on it. Lethal grenades. Now Simtex, sometimes I do switch off to frags and search and destroy, because there are good little frag nade spots. But nades in this game are just straight butt, so I like to just run Simtex because they explode faster, and you can usually get those those little stun nade kills faster with the Simtex. And then stun grenades, I don't like flashbangs. Flashbangs, I flash myself all the time, and some of the times they're really misleading. Like, you'll get a hit marker and you won't even flash somebody. So I really just like to stick to stun grenades. And then all this other stuff. Smoke. Moho uses smoke sometimes. I don't even think I've ever thrown a smoke in this game. Moho runs smoke sometimes just to mess him up if he wants to try to grab the flag or do a rush on search and destroy. And then you guys know all the other stuff is not allowed in MLG play. Like I said, perk 1, extreme conditioning, you know, sleight of hand, kind of a selfish way to play if you're running sleight of hand, because it really doesn't take that long to reload, so it's not that bad to just go behind cover and reload real quick, and you're going to be helping your team out more if you're running extreme conditioning. Second perk, pretty much the only thing you can use here, quick draw. Blast shield is not allowed. Hardline, there's no kill streaks, no point in that. Assassin, no kill streaks, no point in that. And overkill is not allowed, so got to run that quick draw. Always good to use that. Now, this dead silence, recommended. Everyone's going to be rocking headsets, you know. People either have Astros or Steel Series or Tritons or Turtle Beaches or whatever. Even in pub matches, I recommend dead silence. You know, sit rep, not allowed. Steady aim, people are going to be hearing you. Stalker, people are going to be hearing you. Marksman, people are going to be hearing you. Now, the only time I would recommend marksman is if you're playing on, there are maps that aren't MLG, such as Downturn and Interchange for search and destroy. You know, marksman can come in handy there if you're running an ACR or something and you want to try to see people across the map. But other than that, no, dead silence always. And my perks, my 3 perks are going to be the same for every single class, so if I skip over those, same with my lethal and tactical grenade and my secondary. So next, I'm just going to pretty much go through the rest of the guns I use and why I use those. Death Streak has to be hollow points. There's no strike package in this, so that's my first class. My next class is going to be my SMG when I want a little bit of range. It's going to be the MP7. Now the MP7 is good, like I said, because you can shoot from far away. You can really like burst fire it, or you can just hold it in and sometimes get that no recoil shot. And plus the recoil on the gun is really easy to control. It's not like the PP90 where it's left to right, up and down, diagonal. It's either just straight up and down. It's kind of like the AK from Call of Duty 4. That's why I like it. But it is a little bit weaker and it doesn't shoot as fast. Or at least to me, it seems like it doesn't shoot as fast. I'm sure some of you guys in the comments will know the exact stuff. Maybe I should hit up Drifter. He probably knows the exact increments of how fast it shoots. But MP7 is good for maps, I would say, if you're running the objective on, let's see, Dome. It can be good on Dome. It can be good on Lockdown. And that's pretty much it. Arcade, maybe. You know, I've actually kind of grown to like the PP90. So everything else on this class is the same. Extreme conditioning, of course, you're running the objective. You need to be able to run fast. You gotta be able to run that extreme conditioning. You know, quick draw, dead silence, keep those perks. So let's go on to the next gun. This is what I was talking about. PP90. PP90 is really not a lot of people used it when the game first came out. It was kind of underrated gun. You know, some people used it, and now it's pretty much what everyone uses now. You know, you hardly ever see the MP7. It's more PP90. And this is because, one, on land, this thing is a beast. It's like a 3-shot kill, and plus the recoil is kind of it's kind of bad. Like it moves left to right all sometimes, but sometimes it's really easy and has no recoil. You can just hold it in and spray, and that's what I was saying. Like I think it's stronger than the MP7. I think it shoots faster, but the range is not as good. So if you're using this, maybe sometimes burst fire it, but I'd recommend most of the time just try to spray and pray and kill them from long range. This is good on closer range maps if you're running objective. I like it to use it on bootleg. Dome is good, and arcade. Pretty much any map I think is good for this gun. You know, the SMGs, that's one of the things I like about this game. It's not for FAMASas, but it is, you know, there's variety. There's assault rifles, there's SMGs, and then there's different kinds of SMGs. But I do actually right now prefer the PP90 over the MP7. I will have to admit. And then right here, these classes aren't really important. This should actually be, let me make this real quick for you guys. In case, like I said, in case I wanted to run an ACR with impact, which I rarely ever do, I would use that and say search and destroy in case, you know, you want to try to shoot people through walls. Maybe throw in a little bit of scavenger because extreme conditioning, some maps you don't need to get to the points really quick if you're not going to be a rusher. I mean, maybe throw in the scavenger, and you can pick up extra ammo. You'll have that extra ammo to shoot through walls and try to pre-fire people. So that's where the impact can come in handy. But for me, for some reason I don't like impact. I don't like it at all, because like I said, I get those long range battles with SMGs, and sometimes they can catch me if I don't get behind cover because they're getting the first shot and my shot's bouncing around everywhere because I don't have focus on. And then the last class is just kind of like my mess around class. Thermal. I have a thermal LMG here. I never use that. I think I was using it in the dubs that me and Moho were playing on Terminal. The guys were using it. So I decided to throw it on and just try to see how it is. But honestly, I think this thing needs to be banned. But what are we going to do? This game's almost over. There's nothing really to say. This can be banned. But I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Guess that's pretty much it for my whole entire class setup. What was I was going to say? So I was going to tell you guys something. I had a thought in my head. It was a good thought. It was a very good thought indeed. I can't remember. I forget what I was going to say. Oh man, I feel like it had something to do with search and destroy, and now I'm kind of just rambling in this commentary. But you know what? I'm not going to edit it out because this is cool. You know what I've been doing? I don't want to jinx it, but I've been trying to give you guys 2 videos a day. One, I kind of talked to Moho and some of the YouTubers, and they said that one, that's a good way to grow your channel, is to post more content. You know, 2 videos a day is a good way to do it. So any of you guys out there striving to be YouTubers, that's the more content, the better. The more exposure your channel is going to get. So I've been kind of just doing like videos like this, or yesterday I did a random commentary. I'm going to do a about the Gamma Labs contest probably tomorrow, and then on top of that, I've just been uploading a 1v1 with Sharp every day. So those are pretty easy for me to do. You guys really like those, and I think it's a easy way for me to get a good 2 gameplays up there. God, I just kind of like stuttered to the max, but it's a good way for me to get 2 gameplays up there. And what would it be, a commentary, without my phone going off? If you guys didn't hear that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this class setup. If you guys have any questions, any things that you think I left out, just feel free to leave a comment asking. Or feel free to send me a message over YouTube, or tweet me, or Facebook me, or whatever. But as always, if you guys like this video, click the like button, helps me out. And stay tuned for later today, 1v1 with Sharp. I'm going to upload that. And this is your boy Sharp. I'm out. Peace.